Welcome to the While You Were Working podcast, presented by Rogue Marketing. When you're responsible for revenue, it's hard to look up from the work, but while you're doing your day job, the market shifts. While You Were Working is where we turn today's trends into tomorrow's strategies. Welcome to While You Were Working.
Welcome to While You Were Working, the podcast for revenue accountable business leaders wanting to stay ahead of the curve. I'm Chip Rosales, managing partner of Rogue Marketing. Rogue is a strategic marketing agency that helps clients defend their marketing spend. We're business builders who carry a marketing toolbox. Thanks for joining us. You know, it's hard to keep up with the trends and insights shaping business when you're busy driving growth. That's why we sit down with working CROs, unpacking their experience and sharing actionable insights. The world moves fast while you're working, and today's guest is at the forefront of exponential change. I'm joined here today by Gary Haymann. He is the CRO of SmythOS. So why don't you tell me just a little bit more about what SmythOS does, what you guys are actually built, what you've actually built, and then I'm really interested in hearing how you got to the CRO chair.
Yeah, Chip, thank you so much for inviting me in today to talk to you guys and the rest of the team. What we really strive for and kind of our mission at SmythOS is we really wanted to make AI easy. So SmythOS is a true operating system. So think of it almost like Canva for AI. This is one place where all of your AI tools can live, be leveraged and utilized throughout your business, and really help you scale them from that standpoint. So it's really SmythOS is agnostic to any data. So anything with an API you can bring in, you can query it with like a task. You can use any language model you want. You can pick Claude for one task. You can pick OpenAI's ChatGPT for another to query that task. And then you link these tasks together to create workflows. And those workflows are actual agents. And then the endpoint is an API that you can plug into any system.
So that sounds extremely efficient. It sounds like, you know, it's perfect. It sounds amazing. How hard is it to do that?
When we originally built SmythOS, it was a no-code drag and drop interface. So you could bring any task, any language model, any API, link them together and connect workflows in seconds. What we've released over the last 2 months is something called AgentWeaver. It's actually the first ever chat to agent builder. So think of ChatGPT. You ask it a question and it produces a result. AgentWeaver, you say, I want to build an agent that creates podcasts, a marketing summary, and then an email follow-up, and it will actually build you the workflow in real time. It'll identify any API keys you need to connect, and then instantly you have a working AI agent.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What is real about AI agents right now? What is absolutely, we talked about smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
What's real?
Yeah. And I think the important thing to understand is it's not about replacing people. It's about creating incredible efficiency and also scale from that standpoint. And I think that all of us, it's kind of that 80-20 rule. There's 80% of your job that you have to get done. There's 20% that you love that you wish you could spend more time doing. And that's really what these agents are going to be able to do. Let you focus the majority of your time with your unique abilities and the things that you love most, and kind of get some of the more redundant things out of the way, so it just makes us all truly more efficient. A lot of different digital marketing agencies really need to embrace these newer technologies, especially with AgentWeaver, is within seconds you can see a workflow that helps you create an agent from that standpoint. So it takes it from an idea to something actionable. And then we also really focused on making the deployment really easy.
What do people lose by not being able to deploy these AI agents? What are they actually losing? Because I think even CROs out there, like you can start looking at things, but again, do I want to make that leap?
I want you to just think about what the year 1998 was like.
That was a great year.
This thing of like the starting of the internet. And then all of a sudden, everybody needed a website. And there were a lot of people that were like, are people really going to go on the web? And is that going to be a point? We can all see the incredible adoption and how that really changed the game. I think we're at this precipice now of exponential speed and growth through business. this is not something that is going to happen in the future. This is something that's happening right now. Embracing it so that you know and understand how to use it within your business, leveraging the skill set to understand how to translate that to value for your customers. You were talking about that spend. That spend is directly correlated to creating value for your customers.
All right, so we've been talking about how enterprises are talking about AI. The whole world's talking about AI. Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to kind of like make that first move. There's a lot of hesitation that might be going on. Can you talk to a little bit about that and what you're seeing in the marketplace surrounding that?
Yeah, it's really interesting you bring that up. I mean, you would think that mid to large size companies would be jumping in with both feet in regards to AI. And kind of what we're seeing out there in the market is you have some very unique things that have developed. You have ChatGPT that has over 100 million daily active users. So overnight, everybody in the world knows about AI. Then on the far side, you have every large business is aware of it. They're saying they want to use it and they want to do it. And what you're really seeing is this skills gap that is in the middle of these two things. And that's really one of the driving principles for SmythOS is we wanted to bridge that skills gap and create a platform that made AI easy to build, actionable, and quick. And that's really how we started with the drag and drop builder, and now it's turned into an AI chat interface where you can just talk to it. It will build the workflow for you, and then you can deploy it and make it go live. So it really starts to bridge that gap of how much knowledge you need to be able to build and utilize these tools. We're trying to make it quicker and easier.
Can you give an example? And again, no names, we're not needing any of that, but like somebody who got in, did an experiment, tried it with this one thing, saw the value, moved it into this other thing, it became this snowball.
We have one online retailer that is a really revolutionary product. I think they're selling about 500 to 600 products a day. It's a very well adopted product. And one of the challenges that they had is they really wanted to provide personalized service. So they have a massive call center with lots of people, get about 500 phone calls a day around where's my order, where's my exchange, what's the warranty on this, just kind of commonly asked, we call it commonly asked like order status questions. So we built an order status agent. And what we did is we connected it first to their Azure database so they can pull down all of their customer information. We then connected it to their commerce platform, which was WooCommerce. So you're getting the details and specifics of the order. And then we connected it to AfterShip, which was their shipping and logistics. So now a customer can go to the site or log into their account for this company, check the status of their agent and their order within just a few minutes. So just making it really quick and easier. And then your question was, well, how did that grow? Well, we built that. The company loved it. We started with making it a tool that the customer service team that were answering the phone calls could use to make it quicker and easier. They soon moved from AfterShip for their shipping and logistics to FedEx. So FedEx had a more robust API system so they could get quicker, faster readings and more on the location and tracking of the packages. So we started with the customer service department. Then we started to roll it out into the public-facing site for their consumers. That's going extremely well. They actually have a customer service agent that they now want to integrate the two. So this one agent will answer any customer service related questions along with kind of order status from that standpoint. But we're already looking into the future. They're on the Oracle suite. They have NetSuite. They have all their reports, all their tracking, all their statistics. We're now going to be building in the future agents around reporting. So it really is like just what we try to do is let's just find one or two small use cases. Let's not boil the ocean. Let's just find one or two small use cases. Let's build them. Let's prove to the internal teams that this works, to senior leadership that this works and it's something worth investing in. And then what's so exciting is seeing that light bulb go off with people inside their business start to just, oh my God, could do this. Right. We could do that. We could do that.
This sounds like AI is going to transform everything. It is. But the way we've been talking about transformation for the last couple decades has been like this big boil the ocean. Like you come in and you make this massive change. I love this experimentation, this start small, the snowball, and the ability for things to move back. So I think you've got a lot of things there. There's a lot of things happening there. And I do think there's this big knowledge gap. So there's this opportunity for technology to sit in that gap and help us, make these experiments and not get paralyzed by things, being too hard, too complicated.
You asked why we're so excited. I think that we really feel like we've created an operating system that can help people transform their businesses. You just talked about the buzzword a few years ago was digital transformation. Well, now it's really AI transformation. So what we've seen be successful is we work with business owners. Let's start to look inward in your company. Think of internal processes that you are doing on a daily basis to execute for your clients. Let's build some agents to help you drink your own champagne in a sense, use it yourself to execute your work. Then it makes you more efficient. Then it lowers your costs. It helps you improve your margins. And then now that you've started to do this internally, you can take some of those agents, you might want to offer them out to the market to service other clients. And then it even gives you the idea of, hey, I have this, strategy we're implementing for a client. Let's build a custom solution agent and just kind of go through the whole kind of life cycle. So the other thing is it's really empowering companies to embrace this, use it quickly, and really transform their own businesses and opportunities that they see out there in the market.
Well, thank you for opening our eyes on all that. I appreciate you being here. We appreciate your insight on just this massive skills gap that we are being able to tackle. What predictions do you have about where AI is going?
I really think that, they're talking about 2025 being the year of AI agents. I think that you're going to see a lot of rapid adoption in the workspace where people are starting to, rightfully so, use these tools and get a lot of productivity and scale from that standpoint. The other thing, in an honest fashion, I think that companies are going to start to look inside before they look outside. What I mean by that is look inside to start seeing how they can streamline processes with using these tools before they go outside to hire more employees. Can we scale what we're doing with some of these agents versus, going out and hiring people?
Before we wrap up, let's shift gears. I want to do something we call quick takes. I'm going to throw out a few business topics, and I'm looking for your gut reaction. So just a quick thought, just a few words. All right, you ready? Are you for long or short-term planning?
I'm for short-term planning. If you can laser focus on the one most important thing that you need to do that week, if you keep doing this in a compounding fashion, you'll see exponential growth.
All right. What's the greatest challenge the business world's facing?
I mean, it's AI transformation, without a doubt.
Period.
Yes, period.
What's the trend you're most tired of hearing about?
Maybe digital transformation, because that's really changed a lot. And I think you're going to be sick of hearing the word AI transformation, but I just think it is the world that we're living in.
All right. One of my favorites. What's a book, a podcast, a resource, something you swear by?
How I Built This. I love those podcasts. I'm a diehard entrepreneur, so I always love the story of how people, they found a way to survive one more time, and that one more time they iterated one thing, and that one change made all the difference in the world.
That's awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really do appreciate it.
Today's episode focused on AI agents, and that reminded me of an article that we saw at the beginning of the year, which was called The Future of B2B Marketing. There's 11 predictions. You just heard our guests talk about how AI agents are everywhere. Well, John Miller has built a name for predictions, and he does pretty well on his accuracy. You'll see that in the article. The 11 predictions he made fell into two different categories. The first one was that there's this death of the traditional marketing playbook, And the second is, you guessed it, the rise of AI agents. And that's what we discussed today. So on the change in the marketing playbook, just real quickly, you can read about how we're moving away from MQLs. We're reframing everything around revenue. And all the CROs out there are like, duh, yes, we're definitely rewriting everything around revenue. And then one interesting insight that I saw that was really cool was that there's a shift in budget toward brand building. It's been ignored far too long, and people are now getting back into building their brands. But the other 8 predictions, they all centered around AI agents. So if you're not thinking about them, you definitely should be. They're going to gain traction in every enterprise you know, and they're going to replace junior roles. They're going to begin to transform how the market buys. A link to that article is going to be posted in the show notes. We'd also invite you to follow us on social media. Search Rogue Marketing on Facebook or X, or search Rogue Marketing Agency on LinkedIn. We're regularly sharing insights and articles that you may have missed while you were working. See you next time.